It's been 50 days, and 50 days have passed since the silence in Oro began. Not the ordinary silence of rural dusk settling over farms and footpaths, but a deeper, more oppressive silence, the kind that followed gunfire into a community it has not left since then. In the CLA in Yawota, silence now has texture. It sits on doorsteps and lingers in empty classrooms and hangs over households where parents still wait for their children who left for school and never return. And on the 15th of May 2026, 42 pupils and education workers from Baptist Nursery and Primary School in LA, Primary School and Community Grammar School in CLA were abducted and taken into the vast wilderness of the Old Oyo National Park. And 50 days later, they remain unaccounted for, trapped in a conflict that has stretched beyond the forest of Oyo State in the depth of the national anxiety. What began as a local tragedy has evolved into a complex national security crisis, raising uncomfortable questions about Nigeria's evolving threat and landscape, the vulnerability of rural education systems, and the growing audacity of insurgent networks have believed or once believed to be geographically contained. The initial shock of the abduction ripped across the country. It was not merely the scale of kidnapping that stunned observers, but its location, the Southwest. Long considered, insinuated from the insurgent violence associated with the Northeast, the Northwest, and the North Central, suddenly found itself drawn into the orbit of terror. 50 days later, they remain unaccounted for, trapped in a conflict that has stretched beyond the forest of Oyo State into the depth of national anxiety. And on that note, we welcome you to the program Perspectives Unlimited for today, the third day in the month of July 2026. Good morning to you, Oyo State, and good morning to you, Nigeria. This is 89.3 FM, Wells Radio, your preferred wholesome radio and Oyo State #1 family radio station, broadcasting live from Wells Broadcasting House along Alafin Avenue, Oluyole Estate, Ibadan, the capital of Oyo State. My name is Ayo Emmanuel-Ojo. This is Beyond the News. This is Perspectives Unlimited, not Beyond the News, I beg your pardon, where we take you beyond the news, giving you headline stories making the rounds in Nigeria. Anyways, we still take you beyond the news eventually, with in-depth analysis to help you understand stories making the rounds, one after the other. Today we have The Punch, and of course we have the Nigerian Tribune. We begin with The Punch newspaper. Let's get in the stories for you. On page 20 of The Punch, despite the xenophobia, South African investors pour nearly $1 billion into Nigeria. On page 7, United States pulls troops from Nigeria after ISIS deputies killing. On page 7, major story on page 2, Atiku vows 2027 fight as court clears David Mark-led ADC. There are 3 riders to the story. The first one says, Mark Aregbe-Shola, emergence meet ADC rules. Electoral Act, court declares. The next one, ADC chairs celebrate court victory, urges united opposition. Government plot to weaken opposition will fail, says Atiku. And on page 2, PDP factions in fresh clash over INEC nomination forms on page 2. And finally on page 19, Dangote importers battle as petrol holds above 1,000 naira. You find it on page 19. And of course we have the photo story here of the declaration of Senator Sharafaddin Ali as the gubernatorial candidate of the APC in Oyo State. Now moving on to the Nigerian Tribune for today. Conflict funding shortfalls push northern Nigeria hunger crisis to worst level, says United Nations agency. On page 5, court affirms David Mark-led ADC leadership, its victory for constitutional democracy and the rule of law, says article. Major story on the front page of the Tribune, page 4, Knox Trail Ghost Presidential Council. Article, Dalong, CSO, raise questions. Agency allocated 1.3 billion naira in 2026 budget. My agency not a ghost body. I am ready for trial, Adeyemi insists. On page 12 of the Tribune, court to reject El-Rufai's fresh bail bid over disputed medical report. On page 27, security agencies foil another breach at the NIPWS. On page 5, APC unveils Ali Adedeji as Oyo governorship and deputy candidates in 2027. NADDCDG Finance Minister meets push for fiscal incentives for Nigeria's automotive EV growth. And finally, uncertainty looms as 4% green tax surcharge replaces 10% slash. All of that you'll find on the Nigerian Tribune for today. Once again, we want to especially thank you for joining us on the program Perspectives Unlimited for today. Remember, you can watch us live and listen to us live using all of our streaming and online platforms from anywhere in the world. Be reminded that we're streaming live on Facebook, facebook.com/Wells Radio 893 FM fan page. Wells Radio 893 FM fan page on Facebook. You can watch and at the same time listen to us right there. Even on YouTube, Wells Radio 89.3 FM. And on all our streaming platforms, on Radio Garden, on Radio Box, on Streamita, on our website, wellsradio893.com. From anywhere in the world, you can definitely listen to the show and all our programs 247. Once again, my name is Ayo Emmanuel-Ojo. Welcome to the show.
We have 271 Nigerians that have come in here today. We have the stakeholders on return readmission and reintegration. We have Minister of Foreign Affairs, we have Nigerian Immigration Service, we have NEMA, we have NITCOM, and other stakeholders in a whole of government, whole of society approach to receive our returnees from Southern Africa. We'll start by providing psychosocial support, mental health support. We'll provide them with welcome partner dignity kits to make sure that they know they are welcome back to Nigeria. And thereafter, we'll provide, after profiling, of course, we will check their vulnerabilities, and then we'll provide for them, livelihood support, skills training and all of that going forward.
Hey, my experience in South Africa is horrible. South Africa is not safe, and because they see that we Nigerians, we are very hardworking, they are very lazy, they don't work, they don't do anything, yeah? So they think Nigerians are taking their job, So they started this match and match thing in South Africa that they go around with weapon and all the rest. So we had to just leave and for our safety, I left back my things, my business, but I'm begging Nigerian government if they can assist us financially for us to start our business back in Nigeria. We'll be so grateful. I was selling phones, laptops and iPhones. So staying back in South Africa because they go to people's shops, they loot people's shops, they kill people, even they go to people's houses, looting houses and things like that. So we are sleeping with fear. We are not staying in South Africa with our two eyes open. So the best thing is for us to just come back to our country and be safe. No place like home.
I've been in South Africa for 7 years.
Okay.
So my experience in South Africa is very, very bad experience. Very bad experience. A country whereby they don't value a foreigner. And their government are not doing anything for that. South Africa see Nigeria like a piece of trash, and which is very bad, because I know how many of their how many they are investing here in Nigeria, and it's very very bad. There are a lot of our brothers who started this process and they couldn't make it yesterday. They killed the guy yesterday with stick for no reason, and their government, when we reported to police, they couldn't do anything. A country whereby you can't sleep with 2 eyes closed, you can't walk by the street, even when your passport is valid, police will still collect money from you. They say Nigeria is corrupt, but there I see the real corruption in South Africa. That's the worst country. And they said Nigerians are taking their job. There is no job in South Africa. Talk more of taking.
I was doing music. At some point, music was not paying because they told me to go and push my music in my country. So I went to learn how to fix phones. I fixed phones. I fixed Apple laptops. At first, it was hard. You know, that's not what I used to do at first. Switching to fixing phones. At first, I was like, hey, that's not really what I want to do. But yeah, after some time, I found my feet. I got my customers. I started getting jobs. Saudi was nice until when they said we must go back. I have nice friends in South Africa. I have beautiful people. I have producers there that did good job for me. But you know, they don't really like foreigners like that. Some of them. Some don't like foreigners like that because they believe that we're taking their jobs, but we're not even taking nobody's jobs. But we're just trying to like fend for ourselves and we're getting things done. So they'll be like, how are we doing these things? So yeah, I love South Africa, but I had to leave because of safety reasons. Because the beating, the killing,
It is time for us to bring back the value chain of creating jobs for the young people. So it's not even about the uniform. It's not even about the uniform. It's not even about the this thing. It's not even about that. It's about we have 70% of Nigerians that are young people. For the past 2-3 years now, going to 3 years, university has been running without strike. People are graduating. NYSC is accommodating them. After NYSC, what next? And that's the question.
Yeah, Minister, we have 30 seconds more. So 2 questions you can answer in 30 seconds. When are we expecting this amendment to take place? So when is it kickstarting? And I hope the uniforms will be produced in Nigeria.
No, that is Ankara Sef. Or what was it? What's the name of this? That's why we're touching the economy. What's the name of Adire? If it's Adire, so Adire is being produced in Nigeria. We have Edmin in Ogun, we have in Kwara, we have textile industry. Let's put our money back into the country.
Yes, I was asking when are we expecting this reform to kick this year, next year?
No, it's not. There's nothing like this year. This year it's a process. We have been on the process. We are looking at those ones that we can implement without the act. We are looking at those ones that will wait for the act, and we are pushing. And and that is why it's good to be a youth minister as a youth. So it's for me to go and prostrate to the National Assembly, prostrate to them, and tell them that see, this is not something. It's something that you should treat like a state police. It's something that you should treat like other things so that you can put it. And you know, we have a listening president. We have a president that listens to things if you can be able to convince him better and how to see his own view about the economy. So we have that president that talks to us, that listens to us. As of yesterday, I was still with him. And it's an engagement. And he's also ready to also help us. It's not going to be easy. No reform is going to be easy. Right. But it's a process that we need to start from somewhere.
I don't support those who are accusing the president of not doing enough. When the commander-in-chief had given instructions to his subordinates, he has done his bit. You don't expect him to go and put on khaki. When my friend Trump gives instruction to go and bomb anywhere, he doesn't leave White House. He has done his bit. I hereby command, bomb Iran. And then he goes to his bedroom and sleep. The rest is left to those who are his supporters.
right, you're welcome back to the program. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. It's still Perspectives Unlimited on Wells Radio 89.3 FM. This is the weekend edition of the program. My name is Ayo Emmanuel-Ojo. With me in the studio this morning is Mr. Olale Concerning. Good morning to you and happy weekend.
Good morning to you, Chief. Happy weekend.
Good morning to you. How are you doing today? And how has the week been?
Oh, God has been good. He is still good.
We
He
thank
will
God.
continue to be good.
We thank God. Let's start on, well, how do we describe that? On a lighter note or on a serious note? Well, I'll call it a lighter note because Nigerians are very lighthearted. We know how to make hard situation or painful situation, confusing situation very lighthearted. I remember when the wife of the president had referred to kuli kuli akara and the likes, and even up until now, you know, there are different skits and short videos on the internet, making it even lighter, you know, helping us laugh about it. But the statement about the Minister of Youth Affairs saying, or as reported in some social media blogs, as to him referring to the new official outfit of the NYSC being converted to Adire and Ankara. Last night, there was a turnaround on that statement by the government. But to help Nigerians have context, I played an audio from that particular interview on a national television where the minister was asked about if the outfit will be locally produced in Nigeria. And all that he said is it's Ankara safe. And Adire were boosting the textile industry in Ogun, in Kwara, and the likes. I would want you to, quickly scratch the surface of the NYSC reform. I'm, for one, particularly concerned about the removal of the military from the leadership at the top. Some of us who had passed through the scheme can attest to the discipline that you see in camp, at least to a certain level, which I believe for a fresh Nigerian graduate, while I cannot speak for those who, attended the private universities, I think for those who must have passed through the government institution, it's some form of check, for the level of freedom that you may have, explored through your university system. I'd like you to scratch the surface of that, and then we'll talk about the statement made by the Minister of Youth Affairs and the turnaround that we have now.
Thank you very much, Chief. Well, what is constant is change. I specifically don't have much against some parts of the so-called reforms. For me, the most exciting part of my NYSC days was the camp itself. Now I understand that it's no longer going to be 3 weeks. It's not going to be 6 weeks.
I mean, that in itself is concerning.
Well,
3 weeks, 3 weeks of what kind of feeding, 3 weeks of what kind of environment. These are things. I mean, while you enjoyed orientation camp, I'm not exactly sure if. I mean, aside from my boarding school experience, that brought back some form of.
Truth be told, I didn't hit what they provided.
So I can imagine.
I was on my own.
Yeah.
So I can't say much about the quality of feeding, but what I saw, we stayed in the same hostel. What some guys who went to the kitchen came back with was not encouraging. That's to put it very, very mildly. So if they are putting, I love your angle. If they are putting people's children in the place for 6 weeks, they need to make sure that the quality of the food they are going to be given is going to be top notch. That's that. But in camp, you meet a lot of people. You flow. You see people who schooled abroad, those who schooled at home, those who went to private schools. It's a melting point for everybody. People of your age, you are going to be there doing one thing or the other. I mean, it's a very good place to fraternize and make friends, in my opinion. Another thing that actually got me excited is that now they said they're going to be having 11 streams. Depending on what you studied in school, your flair, your ambition, I mean, these are the things that will guide the particular stream that you are going to be joining. There is a medical stream, there is a legal stream, there is an entrepreneurial scheme, there is an agricultural scheme. I mean, these are things that if carefully, orchestrated and executed, will make people to become ready for the outside world after leaving school. I mean, I like that. The part that is concerning, I also like the fact that at least they have said it openly that posting is not going to be automatic right now. That for you to be taken to a particular place, it must mean that that place is at least safe to some extent. I like that. When I served, I knew people who said they couldn't deal with Borno then. That was the point the madness in Borno was starting. Some said they couldn't deal with it. They had to defer their posting and all of that. So for me, that's a very, very fine part. I'm not particularly comfortable with the fact that there is no longer going to be military drilling. There are some life skills that you learn. A lot of people cannot climb trees. I mean, take for instance, if there's a flooding and the only escape route you have is to climb a tree. What do you do if you cannot climb a tree? But if you are opportuned to go to NYSC to do camping, these are things that they would have taught you that how to crawl on your hands. I mean, using your hands and all of that. I'm not very excited that that's no longer going to be part of the game. As regards the leadership, I mean, military, civilian, that's actually not my concern. What actually matters to me is the welfare and well-being of the students, of the core members, how you can develop them. Who heads the agency? I don't really care about that. What is actually concerning is the most concerning of all of it is the idea of converting their kids to Adire. That just doesn't go with me for a number of reasons. Number one is that the khaki and white, white on khaki, it has become iconic.
But do you think anything is wrong with that uniform? Why change it?
That's what I'm saying. It has become iconic. Anywhere you see it in this country, this is a core member. It makes no sense to say you want to change that because that's the identity of NYC itself. That's on one part. The other part is that the choice of Adire. We are talking about a country of 400 ethnic groups, 250 languages, 36 states, 6 regions, and you now want to say you are bringing the cultural identity of one of those 6 regions, one of those 250 ethnic groups. It doesn't make sense. Adire is a Yoruba thing.
Yeah. But we've also seen it, cut across different cultures. Maybe not called Adire, but tie and dye is one thing we've seen. Even up north, they also do tie and dye.
Their own style is totally different from ours.
Okay.
The way they do their pattern is, if you call it Adire is a Yoruba word. It is a Yoruba word. I mean, this is Nigeria for crying out loud.
But do you think that the president, the minister is cruise, like we say in street parlance? Do you think it
wasn't cruise? They actually had a draft that they intend to send to the National Assembly for ratification. So that's not a cruise. It's actually a policy that they want to embark on. And like I said, I'm okay with most of what they are doing, but the idea of no military drills anymore and changing the iconic uniform of NYSC and also now replacing it with what represents just one out of 250, that's most unfair.
Let's look at the creation, what brought about the creation of the National Youth Service Corps. I mean, right after the Civil War, we all know what happened with the Civil War and its intention. Looking at where we stand security-wise in the nation, and all that we're currently going through as a nation, do you think that the National Youth Service Corps as a scheme in itself should still remain, rather than make a reform? I've seen core members who have been through the scheme and saying, you know what, why don't you just scrap this? Based on my own experience, if not for the National Youth Service Corps, I probably wouldn't have been at a certain part of the country at the time.
You were there.
And I totally enjoyed myself. However, I've also seen people, even while I was enjoying myself, and the story for them is nothing to write home about. But insecurity has since become something else in Nigeria. At the time when I served, it was not even an household situation. In fact, it was not a thing in the state where I served. But today, the story is different. The Civil War creation that led to it and where we stand. Should the scheme itself still exist?
Personally, I think the scheme itself should exist, because it has become part and parcel of us. Not that I'm not afraid of change. I am lover of change, but the idea of meeting people from other parts, networking is what actually controls the world right now. You need all the contacts you need, you can get in this world. So for me, if there's an avenue that's going to make you meet people from other parts of the country, people from other ethnic stocks, religion, stuff like that, I think it's okay. But I've always had a concern with NYSA. I see it as you say on the street, cheating. You have people who do 8 to 4 almost every day, and you pay them maybe a tenth of what they are due to get. I don't like that. For me, save camping, save the training that they have been taught while in camp. The idea, any other thing apart from that is not worth it, because it's like offering people's children as slaves. That's how I saw it. You work, you do exactly the same thing other guys do in an organization, but when it's the end of the month and you want to get paid, you get just a fraction of what other guys are getting. Sometimes zero kobo at the end of the month. That is not making, that there is no difference between that and cheap labor, if not free labor. I don't like that. Once they are done with campaign, the money you should have given them for the entire stretch of 12 months, give it to them in lump sum. Let them go and fix their lives with that money. It may not get them to Forbes list, but at least the training you have given them in camp through the entrepreneurial trainings and all of that, that money should, okay, now they get 77K. If you do that by 12, you are almost getting to maybe 900, 800, 900. It may not, like I told you, it may not make you compete with Elon Musk immediately, but if you use it judiciously, you can try a small business. So for me, that is what I want. Give them the money, but not that you use them as cheap labor and not give them stipends at the end of the month. Train them on what to do, then give them that money. Let them help themselves.
All right, we're going to take a break now. But before we take the break, President Bola Tinubu yesterday playfully referred to the First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, as Yalakara, in an apparent light-hearted reference to the recent controversial surrounding her remarks on small-scale business. So safe to say you can always call the First Lady Yalakara. We're going to take a break right now. When we come back right after the break, we're going to look at more stories in Nigeria for today. Please stay with us.
Thinking of an all-in-one digital platform that fits your lifestyle and makes everyday payments simple, reliable, and fast?
Oh, wow. Yes, please.
Allow me introduce you to BillStation, your one-stop digital payment solution for individuals and businesses. Built to simplify payments and services for millions across Africa. With BillStation, you can buy cheap airtime and data, pay electricity bills, send money instantly, make online payments, and book flights and hotels. Enjoy our overseas airport pickup services, interstate bus ticket sales, and event tickets, all on BillStation. Fast, simple, reliable.
Wow, that's amazing.
Visit www.thebillstation.com. Download the BillStation app on the Apple App Store or Android Google Play and get welcome bonuses when you sign up. Enjoy fast customer support and a seamless user experience every time. Get in touch with us today.
Email thebillstation175@gmail.com or sales@thebillstation.com.
WhatsApp 091 6858 1914. BillStation. Your world, your money, one station.
The Financial Services Regulation and Coordinating Committee, FSRCC, and the National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, don't join body to warn everybody of the plenty wahala where the illegal financial operators, IFOs, they cause every day, where they spoil and scatterbalance the trust where public people get on top anything where concern money for Obodo Nigeria. Them they advise us to stop to follow and do business with financial money operators when no get license. Abeg, confirm the license of those kind company on top these websites them www.cbn.gov.ng, www.nicom.gov.ng, www.pencom.gov.ng, www.sec.gov.ng, www.fsrcc.gov.ng. To report any fake financial people or money scam where you suspect, call CBN 0817-665-7060, SEC 0209-462-1168, 0916-772-3240. Announcer, FSRCC.
89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio.
It is time for us to bring back the value chain of creating jobs for the young people. So it's not even about the uniform. It's not even about the uniform. It's not even about the this thing. It's not even about that. It's about we have 70% of Nigerians that are young people. For the past 2-3 years now, going to 3 years, university has been running without strike. People are graduating. NYSC is accommodating them. After NYSC, what next? And that's the question.
Yeah, Minister, we have 30 seconds more. So 2 questions you can answer in 30 seconds. When are we expecting this amendment to take place? So when is it kickstarting? And I hope the uniforms will be produced in Nigeria.
No, that is Ankara Sef. Or what was it? What was the name of this? That's why we're touching the economy. What's the name of Adire? If is Adire, so Adire is being produced in Nigeria. We have Edmin Ogun, we have in Kwara, we have textile industry. Let's put our money back into the country.
Yes, I was asking when are we expecting this reform to kick this year, next year?
No, it's not. There's nothing like this year. This year is a.
Right, you're welcome back to the program. Thank you for joining Perspectives Unlimited this morning. Let's touch down on the story. Despite xenophobia, South Africa investors pour nearly $1 billion into Nigeria. South African investors have channeled $983.83 million into Nigeria in the fourth quarter of 2026, despite recurring xenophobic attacks against Nigerians and other African migrants in the country. New data from the NBS has shown the figures represent a 90.31% increase from $516.96 million recorded in the fourth quarter of 2025, and 96.26% rise from the $501.29 million invested in the corresponding period of 2025. An analysis of the NBS capital importation report for fourth quarter showed that South Africa was Nigeria's third largest source of foreign capital during the quarter, behind the United Kingdom and the United States, accounting for 9.49% of a total of 10.37 billion capital imported into the country. The latest inflow came despite renewed concerns over xenophobic attacks in South Africa, where Nigerians have repeatedly been among foreign nationals targeted during periodic outbreak of violence. This reminds me of the statement credited to the former governor of Edo State, Adams Oshomole, on the floor of the House, where he said that Nigeria should, I'm looking for the word he used now, nationalize the businesses, belonging to South African investors in the country. But from what we can see now, South Africa remains Nigeria's biggest, even bigger than the United States and United Kingdom, remains as Nigeria's biggest, foreign capital investor in the first quarter of the year 2026. How do we describe the hostility on their soil, and how do we call that sudden love to invest in the nation? Let's put that side by side and help us understand this and what it may mean for Nigerians.
Thank you very much. There is something wrong with that reporting, and it is that it's not just capital that is coming from South Africa. And I cannot blame that media organization. Rather, I will blame the CBN and MBS for misquoting what has been happening. What you saw there is actually remittance from Nigerians who are living in South Africa. That's what constitutes the larger part of it. For the other part of it, it's money coming from Nigerians as well and South Africans also to come and buy bonds and the likes here. So it's not as though they are bringing money to invest in a new economic channel in our country. But there is a reason why other countries of the world do vet and approve any form of investment coming from abroad. It's about keeping the local economy safe. It's about ensuring national security and the likes. Let me give you an example. Sometime last year, a company in Japan wanted to buy a steel company in America, but the government of America said no. Despite the fact that the buyer and the seller had concluded plans to do whatever they wanted to do, the government of America said no, that we would not be allowing that to happen, simply because of the fact that it is not in the best interest of our country. If you are buying government bonds, treasury bills, and the likes, you are making money off that government. Looking at what has happened between Nigeria and South Africa, the federal government of Nigeria should have blocked anybody, a South African, not a Nigerian, a South African living in Nigeria, living in South Africa, living wherever they may be living across the world, from buying our bonds and treasury bills. But they didn't do that. I wouldn't be surprised come next quarter or this quarter where everything is still hot, and they will say that some people still brought money from South Africa to buy stocks, to buy bonds and
in Nigeria.
It just tells you that we don't know what we are doing.
Let's go to South Africa very quickly. Their president Cyril Ramaphosa continuing to speak, but it feels like the people are not listening to him.
The president is not speaking. The president only is just acting like he is speaking. That is I have listened to the guy speak from both ends of his mouth. Sometimes you have to respect our country, and sometimes you cannot come into our country to do whatever you want to do, and sometimes you have to do this, you have to do that. Oh, we are not for xenophobia. Stop attacking them. Leave them alone. Leave them. They are brothers.
It's not balanced.
It's not balanced. It's not making sense. And if it's like that, and the top guys they are being recorded going around threatening people. If I see you here on the 30th of you are dead.
It's on national television, so it's not hidden.
And the government is not prosecuting such people. It tells you a lot. The government is only acting like they are acting. In reality, they are not acting. If they are acting at all, they are supporting what's happening. They are supporting what is happening.
All right, the concern of international relations between Nigeria and South Africa. But what way, when it comes to international relations, do you think we should handle this? For instance, speaking on a national television.
Let me say something here, please. The issue happening in South Africa is disturbing. It is heartbreaking.
Unfortunately, it's not just Nigeria that is affected.
It is all black Africans.
All other
African
Africans.
Yeah. The only people they are not messing with are white Africans, not African guys. But if you're black, you're African, you look like them, you're in trouble. 2026 marks the 50th anniversary of the infamous Soweto shooting, where a lot of South African activists and even non-South Africans who were fighting along South Africa then got massacred in a very, very brutal way. 50 years after, it's now South Africa, black South Africans on black Africans. That's unimaginable.
Do you call that trauma?
It is traumatic for me. Another thing is this, for Nigeria to be precise, they owe us a lot till eternity. We contributed money to Liberate South Africa. I'm talking about Nigerians here, not the government of Nigeria. I have a video where former President Shehu Shagari actually said that he was prepared to do everything, even if it meant waging a war against apartheid South Africa to free South Africa.
Let's take this call. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Good morning. I thought you that song. Talking about what? At Yalakara. I think I want to believe the fact that Mr. President knew what our wife was doing is not something that one should really give an applaud. Because the one is just trying to shame some innocent Nigerians, trying to tell them that they should go and it should result in selling akara. No, we have some people that are selling akara and they're making it big. But the point is, the word has gone far, so that one will now be saying you want to go into such a business or now you want to be selling kuli kuli. And that's number one. Number two, on the issue of the NYC that you guys are talking about, see, it is not when a student gets goes for NYSC, it's not then that we tell such a student to embark on entrepreneurial skill. In Japan or in China, their children from toddlers, from when they are in crèche, from when they are in KG nursery, you see their government teaching them skills, various skills from that cradle age. So by the time they now get older, they would have imbibed they would have learned some of those skills perfectly. Now you are saying now in Nigeria now you are saying our aged, let me say like maybe at age 20, 22, 23 NYC participants to go and entrepreneurial skill. It's like you want to fold a dry fish. It will crumble. So I think the federal government should just know what they are doing. And lastly, on the issue of the South Africa that you guys are talking about, see, I don't want to go back to what Nigeria has done for South Africa. Forget about that. What the point is that some of those returning from South Africa, they've lost businesses, they've lost fortune. Some of them were crying because they have luxurious properties back. They left it back in South Africa. Now they have come to Nigeria now with nothing to do. So I just want the government to ensure that the government of South Africa compensate those foreigners, so those Nigerians that came back to just come from South Africa. They should be well compensated so that they will not lose their fortune just like that. Thank you very much. Benga Mario calling from Apata.
Thank you, Benga. Thank you so much, Benga Mario. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning. Your name and where you're calling us from?
Miriam calling from Odejai. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Please go ahead.
Thank you. See, on xenophobia, it will keep affecting Nigerians abroad because Nigeria isn't livable for us. I think when we have it all here, no one will seek greener pasture abroad. But I will urge our leaders, they should do the needful on time. If they really mean well for us, they should fix our economy, end this insurgency and solve the key problems we have, so that no one will be able to even think of, I want to japa. If Nigeria is okay, we will stay. No place like home. That is what we used to hear. So our leaders should do the needful. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your call. Good morning to you. Now, speaking on the national television, the CEO of Airpeace, Allen Onyema, said Nigerians should stop investing in South Africa while encouraging their businesses to invest in Nigeria on the terms determined by the government. The kind of retaliation I want is for Nigerians to boycott South Africa, don't invest in their country. If they want to invest in our country, let them bring their money and invest. And you determine how you take the money back. That is a non-violent action. Do you agree with his own style of retaliation?
I don't believe in violence. I mean, violence doesn't solve any problem. You have to be strategic in whatever you want to do. I don't believe in nationalization as well because it may scare other investors from coming into Nigeria. But there are ways you can ensure that they don't.
Hello, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Welcome, Aderonke.
Yeah, thank you. Concerning the NYC instruction, to me, is a misplaced priority because that is not what they did. Rather, what about after their service here? How will they be employable? How will they empower them? I think that is what should be so that every graduate, after graduating, after serving, so there is job. They already have jobs waiting for them patiently. So I think that is what they should do. All the changing of uniform, change of uniform, though the posting of offers to their state is a good one because the rate at which security is alarming in this country is not a good one. That one is still good. But the change of uniform to me is necessary. Thank you very much.
Thank you. A friend of mine yesterday had, passed a very expensive joke where he said, let's hope that the state police will not be wearing a shoki. Hello, good morning to you.
morning, West Radio.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. George from Olugweru. Thank you for calling.
My name is George. I'm calling you from Olugweru.
It's a pleasure. Good morning.
Yeah. Our people are coming from South Africa. The youth that we have in Nigeria, we were talking about jobs for them. Now we are having more coming in. We have our leaders, those in politics, who are earning bogus money. Most of those people are not investing in any industry. They are not taking a job for people to get. They just keep the money somewhere, some stock them outside the country, and they are feeling busy. Most of them, how many of their children serve this 1 year youth corps? They don't. They use money to buy their certificate. They do all sorts of things for their children and send their children out of the country. Now, they are bringing these children back. Which job really are we having for these boys to take to go to and say, this is what I want to rely on to have a good life here in Nigeria? Let there be a policy whereby these people that have this money create jobs for people to the youth to go into. Without it, nothing good is going to come out of this policy. Starting up again with uniform. Is it the uniform that is the most important thing, or how to make sure that these children have something to do as they come back? Let them vote money to create jobs and make sure that these children that are coming back are having work to do. Or create markets, place where they can start practicing what they were doing there. They have their shops, give them money to start whatever job they were doing there, so that it will not be something that they will be waiting for another 1 year without doing anything. That is what we should do now.
Right.
Otherwise, we are going to create more problems for Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. George. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Yes, good morning to you.
Yes, sir. Ruth calling from Malacca.
Good morning, Ruth.
Yes, sir. On xenophobia, it will remain a challenge if the economy does not provide enough for it. If the economy is stable, people can build a good life at home. Fewer Nigerians will feel the need to live. So the government should support affected victims while taking urgent steps to strengthen the economy and create more opportunities for all. Our government can do better. They should please do the needful. Because if they are done the needful, all this won't be facing it. They should please do the needful on time this morning.
Good morning, Ruth. Let's take a comment on Facebook. Sulaiman Sherry says, good morning to everyone in the studio. Regarding xenophobia, Nigerians should stop investing in South Africa while encouraging their businesses to invest in Nigeria on the terms determined by the government. The federal government should consider imposing economic sanctions on South African interests in Nigeria, including taking over companies such as MTN and DSTV operating in the country. Mustafa Adeyemi says, good morning. Adekunle Ojo Christiana, good morning and well done. Adedamola Okulola says, beautiful morning. On the xenophobia happening in South Africa, I want to urge our federal government to please come to the aid of Nigerians there. At the same time, the federal government should work on our security system here and make our economy stable. This will reduce the rate at which Nigerians travel outside of the country in search of better life, leading to being treated badly in other countries. Thank you. All right, your comment, you can drop yours for us also on Facebook. Let's move on to another story. Otherwise, this South Africa matter will take our time. It's very painful, rather, heartbreaking. And I'm just hoping,
like I was saying,
I'm hoping that the
Shehu
government will
Shagari
step
said
up.
that it was prepared to wage a war against white South Africa then, that if that was not going to work, that it was prepared to harm militias in South Africa to ensure that South Africa was going to be safe. And now look at where we are.
Do they teach history in South Africa?
I sincerely don't think so.
Well, maybe. Otherwise, you should kind of recommend. But this particular finger is pointing at Nigerians, sales of hard drugs.
That is not exclusive.
And that seemed to be, from what they have described, Nigerians seem to have a monopoly
of that.
Of that venture.
I will never defend that. Anybody who did that or is doing that should be made to disappear for life. Narcotics, no way. That we helped them sometime in the past doesn't mean that we have the right to ruin their future.
How come we don't have more South Africans here in Nigeria? as compared to how Nigerians are seen
No,
and
Chief,
easily recognized
Chief,
in other parts of the world.
Even if you are a Kenyan, would you consider coming to Nigeria right now?
Nigeria is a nation.
It is a nation. Somalia is a nation. Can you go to Somalia today?
If I choose to.
Well, have you chosen to?
Well, that's another conversation. Presidential Council scandal. Adeyemi breaks silence after presidency disown agency. The embattled presumed Director General of the controversial Presidential Foreign Intervention Promotion Council, Adeyemi, has broken his silence following the presidency public denial of the agency's existence. Vowing to clear the name, Adeyemi alleged that his current ordeal is the direct result of a major fallout with the Chief of Staff to the President, Femi Gbajabiamila, over a multi-billion naira takeoff grant. Speaking on appearance on Channels Television on Thursday, Adeyemi accused the senior government officials of deliberately attempting to frustrate his activities after he refused to comply with specific financial demands. He fiercely denied any wrongdoing and laid a staggering bribery and extortion allegation at the doorstep of the Chief of Staff to the President. Presidential Council scandal. Let's get your thoughts in on this one and this strong allegation of this so-called government agency, Presidential Foreign Intervention Promotion Council.
To start with, it is a fraudulent agency. It does not exist because for an agency to exist in Nigeria, the National Assembly must pass an act establishing that so-called agency. And this never happened for this particular agency. So the question now is this: how did an agency not created by an act of National Assembly find its way into our national budget? The fact that the presidency is saying today that that agency is non-existent, it's a ghost agency, it's a fraudulent agency, that is a lie. Or should I say it's half truth? Because anybody who understands how government operates would know that it's not an agency that stands on its 2 feet. I believe that this particular agency was, quote unquote, created to siphon money from our national budget, from our national coffers. You just can't bring money out for no reason. You'll have to say, okay, this is where we are spending this particular money. And I am saying that at this particular point in time, we need to examine each and every agency that got budgetary allocation in our agency. Do these agencies really exist? Now let's go to the words of Ayo Emmanuel-Ojo and place them side by side with what the embattled guy said. The embattled guy said that he had a deal with Gbajabiamila that he was going to pay him 600 million naira to be made the head, quote unquote, of that agency. That's number one. Number two is that a so-called takeoff grant would be given to that agency, running to 27.39 billion naira. And Gbajabiamila said that he would be getting 48% of that. That is not new to anybody who understands how government operates in this country. He said he had given him 400 million naira out of the initial 600 million naira through a proxy. Now, what led to all of this is the fact that the balance of 200 million naira has been stolen. That was why Gbajabiamila went AY on him. The federal government has come out, the presidency has come out to say that that agency never existed. But guess what? Last year, despite the fact that this administration has placed an embargo on recruitment and employment, they gave that particular agency waiver to employ 300 people. And it came straight from the presidency. Yet you are telling us that the agency never existed. Apart from that, this is a guy who has been meeting top government functionaries. Right. There is a letter that I saw which was issued around September of last year.
Also been appearing at top
where you just can't barge into.
Yeah.
This is a guy that the Senate President Godswill Akpabio actually wrote a letter to follow him to the UK in September of 2025 to go and advertise Nigeria to the outside world. How do you now wake up suddenly to say you never knew that guy?
Let's look at this comment by Sulaiman Sharif on Facebook. He says, how possible did Central Bank open an account
that is the
for
point.
an unknown agency of government without an approval or correspondence from the president?
I said that here yesterday. It's not possible for this. You can't open, no matter how rich you are, you can't open an account with the CBN. It is the it is government agencies that do that, and the Attorney General must confirm that it is a legal agency. The Chief of Staff to the President, the level screening process that you must tick each and every one of them. So if they did not give that guy approval, how did I? And like I said, if he managed to outsmart the CBN, how did he manage to outsmart the president too? By making the president include that agency in the budget. My hunch is that, guy, I'll put you there. Money is going to come. This is my cut. If you can do it, let me know. The guy said yes. Along the line, he felt like he has become a big boy and doesn't want to play by the rules. And that is why we are where we are.
All right, because of our time, we're going to leave that. I would want you to touch on this one very quickly. 50 days after Oriri kidnapped saga, the hope of rescue beckons amidst the fear of uncertainty. A comment.
Right now, I have fears.
What are your fears?
I pray we see those children again.
Schools resumed yesterday.
Life has returned to normal.
Everywhere seemed to be quiet, and everyone is moving on like nothing happened.
That's why the fact that it's a Friday, it's another edition of a reminder of that evil anniversary. It happened on a Friday. Today makes it 6 weeks, exactly 6 weeks.
Exactly 6 weeks.
And nobody's saying anything anymore.
It is well with Nigeria.
It is.
Thank you so much for your time.
It is always an honor to be here.
Thank you so much, Ayo State, for joining us on the show today. We pray that God will definitely heal our land. And let's also play our own part. The PVC collection is currently ongoing. Not collection, I beg your pardon. Registration, changing of location here and there at the INEC offices. I have a long story for days. Time did not permit me to say that. But INEC, we need to do better. It's not a self-care service that INEC is supposed to do now. INEC is expected to cater to Nigerians and help them register, transfer their file, not a self-service, not a service of bringing in your phone and doing it yourself, not a chit-chat meeting where one computer will be catering to a whole local government. That is not what INEC is expected to do right now. We can do better. Nigeria will be great again. Good morning. God bless you.
Please listen to this important information. The views expressed by the interviewee in this program are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views or opinions of Wells Radio 89.3 FM or its affiliated entities. Wells Radio 89.3 FM is committed to providing a platform for diverse perspectives and opinions, and the views expressed by guests on our programs are their personal viewpoints. Wells Radio 89.3 FM does not endorse or take responsibility for the content or opinions expressed by individual interviewees and callers. Thank you.
It's unbeatable.